Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Lynchburg. We are glad you are here. Whoever you are, whatever your beliefs, whatever your age, and whomever you love, you are welcome here. As we work together for justice, compassion, and peace, we also acknowledge with humility that our buildings sit on Monacan land. My name is Courtney Senna. I'm your Director of Lifespan Engagement at this congregation. If you are here with us for the first time, we are glad you chose to be here this morning to participate in the service for this congregation we love. If you would like to receive our monthly newsletter and Friday email updates, please fill out the virtual visitor card found on our website, uulynchburg.org, under Sunday Services, or fill out the yellow card found in the back of the chair in front of you and place it in the offering basket during the offering. Today, our schedule is a bit different. We are exploring UU understandings of human nature. During the service, Reverend Terry will offer a short homily, then there will be a period of meditation on 3 questions related to our beliefs about human nature. Then we will have a chance to talk with our neighbor in the sanctuary or our friends on Zoom. After the service, we are invited to generously support our young adults by giving a donation for our potato bar lunch. At noon, those who are interested can join Reverend Terry back in the sanctuary to continue a discussion on human nature. Lots of changes, but we will get instructions as we go. Also, during your lunch, we have a table set up for lifespan engagement to find out more about what that is and what all we have going on in this church and ways that you can get involved and join us. We hope Emily Chua gets better soon. She is sick today and will be giving a concert in Detroit next Sunday. We wish her good health. As a reminder, we have a new style of order of service. The white part is our cover. We need to reuse these each week, so if you can just put it in the recycling bin as you go out with the rest of your order of service, we will collect them and continue reusing the cover with the insert changing each week. Now, I invite us to release our worries about the world and our own lives as we enter into the service by taking some slow, calming breaths.
Check your mic.
Check your mic. A mic. Okay, is that better?
So let's now again say hello to everybody in the sanctuary and hello to all our friends on Zoom as we gather together in a spirit of worship. And I appreciate Courtney lighting the chalice of our congregation and of our faith. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, O Spirit of life. I invite us now to rise in body or spirit as we share together hymn 300 with heart and mind. Sorry, I should have said that earlier. Thank you. Sorry about the startling change in hymns. Emily was so wonderful during COVID. She recorded a lot of hymns, but of course, this week I chose hymns that she hadn't recorded. So last night I had to find different recordings. So thank you. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Hello.
Quiet bunch this morning. All right, we have a really good book today. It's called A Church for All. Yeah. All right, why don't you guys all come sit down here so we can turn it so that you all can see and our friends on Zoom can see. Sunday waking. Day is breaking. Let's go to our church for all. A church for everyone. Church bells ringing, joyful noises. Choir singing, laughing voices. Our church does have a choir now. Isn't that exciting? Candles glowing, banners flowing. Come enter our church for all. Weary and healthy, neat and messy, poor and wealthy, plain and dressy. They are very dressy, aren't they? All embracing, spirit gracing, each one at our church for all. And look at all of their signs that let people know they're welcome. Love, peace, joy. Come as you are. All are welcome. This is a very welcoming church. Bodies wiggling, mommy's reading, children giggling, daddy's pleading, toddlers flailing, babies wailing. There's room at our church for all. Hands receiving, hands connecting, hearts believing, hearts accepting. Feel the spirit. Can you hear it? It's here at our church for all. The end. So I heard some chatter while we were reading about how you all feel like this is a church for all.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. You feel like anyone would be welcome here?
What about that?
You are right. That is what our opening says. It says all are welcome here. What do you think, Reverend Terry?
So I think that y'all can help us be welcoming because
Listening
it
ears.
takes every one of us to be kind to each other. And when new people come, to welcome them. And so every one of us, no matter our age, or as the welcome says, whoever we love or whatever we believe, we can welcome them into our community. And I even wore this.
Oh, look at Reverend Terry stole.
I even wore this morning because that's got children from all over the world from so many different backgrounds.
See how
So
they're all so different?
this would be, these children could come into a church for all, couldn't they? Yeah.
I bet all those kids
So
would feel
I
welcome here.
appreciate y'all helping to welcome people into the congregation.
There are no parents on that, but that's okay.
Maybe there are little parents.
Yes, maybe there are parents on there, but they're little parents. All right, are we ready to go upstairs? All right. David, we can sing out.
Be sad with you.
we take an offering of our gifts for the work of this community, both in this building and in the larger world. And we appreciate your gifts that are generously given. They are gratefully received. Thank you.
From you,
You I receive.
together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Share together the joys. Spirit of life and love, we hold up today our concerns for loved ones who are ill in mind, body, or spirit. They may find healing and wholeness. We hold up those who are grieving over losses of friends and beloved pets that are suffering or have passed over. We know that grief is a part of life. It is part of choosing to love deeply. And yet our hearts are often broken open. We hold up today our commitment to live love in the world, knowing that love takes many forms and shapes. We live love in the world as we live every moment of our lives by the choices we make to love and not to harm. We give thanks for this place where we live, where spring is coming and the beauty of the earth is beginning to show herself once more. May we find joy and meaning and connection with our Mother Earth and our sisters and brothers who live around us and far off. This we ask in the name of all that is holy. Amen. A favorite class that's offered in Unitarian Universalist congregations is Building Your Own Theology. How many people have taken that curriculum? Okay, it's probably time to offer it again. So in the coming months, we're going to explore some of the topics from that curriculum in services. Today, we begin with human nature. One of the questions we all must define for ourselves is, what does it mean to be human? One of the memes that's been going around Facebook the last few weeks is a group of Buddhist monks sitting around the Buddha, and one asks, Buddha, what makes us human? And the response is, selecting all the images with traffic lights. So hopefully we'll be talking about a few things that are a little more serious about that. The worldview of Unitarian Universalists, as we know, is different from the traditional Christian worldview. I spent an hour being interviewed by a seminary student at Liberty last week, and it was a very interesting conversation as I tried to explain to him, no, we see the world from a different point of view, and he got really engaged in that and emailed me several times, but what do you do about this scripture verse? I said, well, you know, we have sacred texts from a lot of different religions, but it was an interesting interaction. The difference in our worldviews is highlighted in a more hopeful understanding of human nature. While traditional Christianity focuses on original sin, the belief that everyone is born into sin, we Unitarian Universalists affirm that there is a divine spark in each human soul that is to be nurtured. You may phrase that understanding in a non-theistic way, but as a whole, we affirm the essential goodness in human nature. It's always very interesting when I'm doing a baby naming and dedication, and their family members who come from a different faith tradition, and I say, this is not baptism because we don't believe your grandchild was born into sin. We are naming and dedicating this child to the family, to the care of the family and the congregation. When we look at the world around us, the concept might, this concept of the goodness of human nature might be quite challenging for us to hold these days. So it does seem appropriate to explore individually and together our varied understandings of human nature. Although I realize be prepared, I'm not offering you any definitive answers because I'm new you and I'm always looking for more questions. So at least I'm offering some questions today. This is not an exploration. It's not a new exploration. You can even look at a quote by Unitarian Thomas Paine, who said, "These are the times that try men's souls." And today we grapple with the question of human nature and what it means as we live today, which is both radically different and surprisingly similar to the questions asked in Thomas Paine's time. Our old ways of thinking about reality are being challenged, and many of us are reconsidering our thoughts about humanity and human nature. The great Unitarian minister and transcendentalists in the early 1800s, William Ellery Channing, wrote this about human nature. It sounds very modern. I do and I must reverence human nature. Neither the sneers of a worldly skepticism nor the groans of a gloomy theology disturb my faith in its godlike powers and tendencies. I know how it is despised, how it has been oppressed, how civil and religious establishments have for ages conspired to crush it, human nature. I know its history. I shut my eyes on none of its weaknesses and crimes, but injured, trampled on, and scorned as our nature is, I still turn to it with intense sympathy and strong hope. I bless it for its kind affections, for its strong and tender love. I thank God that my own lot is bound up with that of the human race. If we believe that we are all born into innocence, then what are the influences on humans' lives that either shape them gently or warp them into broken souls? What are the influences that surround and protect those who over and over again choose love, justice, and hope, and who turn aside from intentionally doing harm to others? And what traumas turn others against caring for themselves and others in healthy ways, or who inflict harm on individuals in society? How do we affirm their worth and dignity while opposing their acts of harm? I remember speaking to a United Methodist Sunday school class about Unitarian Universalism, and this was a few years ago, and it was a lot of years ago, but anyway, people in the class who were retired ministers who I'd known for years, they were like, well, if Saddam Hussein is going to heaven, then I don't want to go there. You know, he couldn't get out of the us and them, you know, we're saved, they're not saved mentality. Our Unitarian Universalist dedication to working with diverse groups of people speaks to our understanding that every human being has inherent worth and dignity, even those we dislike or profoundly disagree with. We seek to step out of our comfort zones to be of service to others. Of course, one of the difficulties we Unitarian Universalists often have is when we begin to talk about human nature and evil. You know, if we believe that everyone is born in innocence, then what do we do with evil? We want to think the best of people, but does evil have a place in our understanding of human nature? And if it has a place in human nature, how does that relate to our beliefs? Perhaps we think about human nature as something that denotes the state of other people rather than ourselves. That person is doing horrible things, but I'm at a different place. But how we think about human nature, about other people, profoundly shapes how we feel about ourselves. So our definition of human nature needs to be thought about carefully to care for ourselves and others. If we think that human nature is depraved and broken, then where are we in that belief? What messages were we taught as children about who we are and our value and worth in the world? I grew up singing Jesus Loves Me I'll bet a lot of us here did too. It was only later that I learned what Christianity taught about punishment and sin. So am I unconditionally loved, or am I a sinner condemned to be human? How do I incorporate my imperfections without focusing on judgment? While I don't see the beloved community existing in vast areas of human community, I still choose a definition of human nature that affirms love as the foundational motive in the world, even with all the imperfections we humans live out. One of the challenges in understanding human nature revolves around the shadow we find within our own hearts and minds. Even when we intend to be kind and loving in our actions toward others, there is a shadow side of us that emerges periodically, revealing a Pandora's box of emotions that weighs us down and can at times overwhelm our sense of our own worth and dignity. And sadly, many of us carry trauma that can color our sense of self-worth. We are beloved and we are imperfect. We are caterpillars who need to transform into butterflies. We are brilliant minds confused by how to live a meaningful life. We are born to love and destined to grieve. Part of our human nature, you believe, is we weren't born with the answers. We have to experiment, try and fail, try and succeed, all the time, presumably moving forward. If we're fortunate to land in a family at birth that will teach us how to love and how to live ethical lives, we are really blessed. If we aren't so lucky, we learn through life's adventures. Thankfully, we are fortunate to be part of a faith that doesn't give us answers. Rather, it encourages us to break our lives open and live into life's most significant answers. One thing I think most of us discovered during the pandemic is that we need one another. Most humans are not meant to live solitary lives. We need community. And one aspect of our humanity is that we need one another. So it's hard to talk about human nature only in isolation, without connections to human beings. Most people find that we are most fully ourselves, even introverts, when we have a community that loves us, holds us accountable for our actions, and helps us learn to live meaningful lives. Psychiatrist Dr. Mark Reagans found during his career that the greatest possibility for healing takes place even for people with difficult psychiatric illnesses. Healing takes place more often when people were the recipient of an act of human kindness, or when someone believed in them. These moments are what help in healing our lives. Reagans writes, "Here is where the faith community comes in. People of faith are experts in human kindness. We believe in people. We can see something inside them that they aren't able to see in themselves. Or I should say, in our community, we can see something inside each other that we can't see in ourselves. We can give acceptance and love even when an illness is untreated or a person feels hopeless. And these may be central factors to recovery. Our human nature is embedded with the yearning for connection, to participate in a healthy, nurturing community that can enhance our understanding of the world, humanity, and ourselves. In addition, in recent years, we humans, at least a great many of us, have come to understand that our human nature is influenced by and connects us to all living things, to nature, for we are creatures of the earth. Given the complexities of living in this day, on this planet, in this community, grounding our personal beliefs about human nature can be challenging. If we accepted someone else's dogma, it might be easier. I've said that several times through my life. If I could just take the dogma, but then I can't. Yet, someone else's dogma would lack meaning. So I invite us to take a few minutes to contemplate 3 questions, which are in your bulletin. We included space for note-taking, your thoughts about what you believe about human nature. Whatever beliefs we have today, they've been developed in the context of our individual lives. Our beliefs now are more complex and nuanced than when we were children. Understanding the difference, how our beliefs have changed since childhood into adulthood, says a great deal about our spiritual and life journey. The third question invites us to consider how the current political reality affects our understanding of human nature. So I invite us to take 3 minutes to jot down some notes about these questions. What do you believe? What are your thoughts? There are some pens in the backs of the chairs. And after that, I'm going to invite people to share, to turn to a neighbor and share what you each put down. Yeah, I'll get some extra bulletins. A couple of people don't have them. Let's now turn to your neighbor or neighbors and share what you think about human nature and see how there's similarities and differences.
So I think at this point, we can talk with one another. I think, Dave, thanks to David, those of us who are on Zoom can unmute and take a few minutes. to talk. Thank you, David. So would anybody like to, who do you have? Liz and Dick and Ann and Larry and Phyllis and Betty and Rick and Tina and Miley and Trudy. So some thoughts. Have your perspective on human nature changed as you've gotten older? And are the things that are happening in the world causing it to shift in ways? What are some thoughts that you have on your own definition or beliefs about human nature?
You know, I just see, oh, you want to put us on a chasm between some of the unkindness we see in human nature and some of the deep kindness that we see. And sometimes, I mean, sometimes on an hour by hour basis, we see that chasm. People doing just hurtful and unkind things while people are in war zones risking their lives to do kind and things. So and in our daily life we find,
Right.
you know, there's all the stuff on TV with the divisiveness, and then people in our lives that are doing kind things every day. So I just see this huge chasm.
Mhm.
And my family from a very young age was an activist,
Right.
and so we've had, this has been, so I can't say it's changed over the years. I just still see this division.
Liz, did you?
I agree. I mean, it seems that sides are so far apart, and it a lot of unnecessary pain that's inflicted on other people, but yet I see the people who are going out to help people every day and loving what they do and feeling good about it. So yeah, and as a child, we were not activists, but my parents taught, the golden rule, be kind to others and things like that, but also to be a little bit cautious of those that you don't know. um and I think now the way that plays out now is I try to, be kind and loving toward people. But, to be cautious, a little bit cautious still, kind of more to carefully discern things, and read the environment a little bit. So, anyway, that's my thoughts.
Thanks. Dick or David or Betty or Larry?
Say something if all right. I didn't really. I don't think I learned anything from my parents about human nature. And my current beliefs kind of can be summed up by a story you probably all heard before about the Indian grandfather talking to his grandson. And he said, "There's like two wolves in your brain. One was a good wolf, and one's a bad wolf, and they're fighting for you." And the grandson said, "Well, who wins?" And the grandfather said, "The one that you feed." And I like that, kind of sums up my feelings that, I think we're born with certain heredity has an effect on on the way that we react to life. But we can, overcome that if we need to. If we are so motivated, we can overcome any of that, whether the environment we were growing up in or what kind of a mind we've inherited. we can go with our better instincts if we wish to. That's it.
Dick, that helps me somewhat in thinking about people that over the last 8 years have become so much more unkind and so much more. And so was that in them? And then they were just then given permission to feed that.
And not encouraged to feed the other wolf, not
Right.
encouraged to find. I think I was brought up with a belief basically in a good belief in human nature, but realizing things happen to people and the other side just, it can take over.
Right.
And so being wary, but still believing, hopefully, that people have the capacity. I think we're about, well, I'm watching Terry, I'm watching one screen and then.
We're ending our conversations. It's
go, we'll go
hard to
back.
keep you used not to
Let's mute.
quit talking, right? Okay, we can come back in here at noon after lunch and do some more talking about this. So I'm wondering, was there something that bubbled up for you that was unexpected that either you thought of or that you learned from somebody you were talking to? Dave?
Microphone. We can't hear him if he doesn't have a
Oh, so
microphone.
sorry. I was in another time zone, I think. Well, it's because people on Zoom want to hear you.
I know. All right, again, going to what Bob said, what you said, Terry, and myself, to the degree that I think I know myself, when I am centered, when I'm okay with me, when I have some measure of self-love, self-worth, any and all issues I may have, particularly going to bias, prejudice, organized religion, I don't have any sense of bias or prejudice. When I'm off center, I do. I would also suggest, I'm not sure how to put this. Well, let's just let it go with that.
Thanks. Anybody else? Anybody on Zoom? Oh, let's see. Hey, Miley, do you have your hand up?
I don't, but I did want to say something.
Okay.
So, Dick said a really good story to us about what the wolf, that you choose to feed. And like kind of a side note from that is not only the wolf internally that I decide to feed, but also what I decide to feed into. So I noticed that when I pay too much attention to social media or different things like that in my life, that I can either become very negative or very positive. So I think in this day and age with technology and social media and all of that, it's also, what I feed into, not just the beast inside me that I feed.
Thank you, Miley. So we are going to take a break in just a minute. But for those who want to talk longer, we'll be back in here at noon. I'm glad that we're all here today, and please, give a shout out to our young adults. The food smells really good out there. We are all of us part of humanity with all its love and wildness and confusion and glory. The most noble and the shadow reside in me, in each of us. May we daily nurture the best of our nature with love as our guide. So our surprise closing hymn is number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my talk, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
The warmth of community or the fire of commitment, these we carry in our hearts until we are together again. That time has come. Let's say goodbye to our folks on Zoom, and let's say bye to our folks in the sanctuary. It's been a gift to be together today. Our benediction are the words of our forebear Theodore Parker. The ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple all space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love, its profession of faith, divine living. Blessed be. I think now we're at the point. Blessed be, thank you. Baked potatoes.